All right, let's jump right in. We're going to talk about something that's, well, fundamental to who we are, our memory. But it's not just about how it works. It's about how you can actually build a toolkit to make it work better.
You know the feeling, right? You walk into the kitchen with a mission, and then, poof, it's gone. You're just standing there. That little mental blank, that brain fart, that's actually a perfect window into a specific kind of memory we rely on all day, every day.
So what we're talking about here is something called episodic memory. And honestly, the best way to think about it is like your own personal time machine. It's not just knowing a fact, it's about reliving a moment. It's the memory of your first concert, what you had for breakfast this morning, that conversation you had yesterday. It's literally the story of you. And this isn't just about, reminiscing. It's actually a super practical tool. Imagine all your past experiences are like a giant library. Well, episodic memory is your librarian, pulling the right book to help you figure out what to do right now and how to plan for tomorrow. Seriously, without it, every single day would feel like starting from scratch.
Okay, so if this memory system is so important, what messes it up? Well, there's a big one, a real public enemy number one when it comes to memory: stress. Let's dive into how this thief actually goes about stealing our memories.
And this isn't just a feeling, There's a real biological domino effect happening here. When you get stressed out, it kicks off this one region in your brain, the PVN. That then messes with the part right next to it that helps control your sleep. And, well, we've all been there, right? After a bad night's sleep, your brain just feels foggy. It's a straight line, biologically speaking, from stress to bad sleep to a crummy memory.
But it's not all doom and gloom, I promise. If stress is the bad guy in this story, we've actually got a superhero to fight back. And that hero is mindfulness. And look, this isn't just some feel-good, fluffy concept. There's real science here. Researchers got curious about this old idea that mindfulness helps you remember things from way back when. So they thought, hey, let's actually test that. And they designed this really cool 3-part study to see if this ancient wisdom holds up in the modern world.
And what they found was pretty amazing. First, they just looked at people and saw that, yep, those who reported being more mindful just had better memories. There was a clear link. So for the second study, they took it a step further. They actually trained a group in mindfulness, even for just a little bit. And guess what? That group did way better on a memory test. Then, the third study kind of sealed the deal. It showed the same thing, but it also started to uncover why. It turns out mindfulness also makes you more genuinely interested in what you're doing. And when you're more motivated, you just remember things better. It all connects.
I mean, the researchers really say it all right here. The big takeaway is that paying mindful attention does more than just calm you down. It actively fires up your motivation and your memory. And just think about what that means for studying, for your job. It's a huge deal. So, mindfulness is a fantastic tool to have in your kit. But there's another level to this, kind of like a master key that unlocks even more control over your own mind. And that key is called metamemory.
So what on earth is meta-memory? Well, the simplest way to put it is it's thinking about your thinking. It's not the memory itself, but your awareness of how your memory works. You know that little voice in your head when you're studying that goes, yeah, I've got this, or, I better go over that again. That is your meta-memory. It's you stepping outside yourself to check in on how well you actually know something.
This model here is a great way to picture it. Down at the bottom, you've got the object level. That's just the stuff. Your memories, the raw information. But up top, at the meta level, that's the boss. That's you acting as the manager. You're looking down, monitoring everything, and then you send instructions back down. Things like, hey, let's try a different study technique, or focus harder on that name. It's all about monitoring and then controlling.
Yeah, this really nails the difference. Memory is the what, the actual fact or the experience. Metamemory is the how we know, or even if we know. Think about that tip of the tongue feeling. It's so frustrating, right? You can't get the word out, but you have this powerful feeling that you know it. That feeling, that is your metamemory working overtime, telling you the information is in there somewhere.
So probably the best analogy is this. Think of metamemory as the dashboard for your mind. It's got all the gauges and the controls. If you're studying for a test, your dashboard tells you your knowledge level for each topic. It lets you see, okay, the fuel tank on Chapter 2 is full, but we're running on empty for Chapter 3. So you can stop wasting time and put your effort exactly where it needs to go. It's about being strategic with your own learning. All right, so let's pack up our toolkit. Here are the big takeaways.
Number one, and this is the most important, your memory is not some fixed thing you're stuck with. It's a dynamic process. We know what messes with it. Stress is a huge disruptor. We know what helps it. Mindfulness is a proven booster. And finally, we have the master key, metamemory, which puts you in the driver's seat. It gives you active conscious control over the whole process.
Look, these aren't just cool ideas to know about. They are practical tools you can start using, like right now. So the real question isn't about the research anymore. It's about you. You have the toolkit. So how are you going to become the manager of your own memory?